Just a lot of cool little Cliffies right now.
Wake up.
Now she's in New York.
The payphone was ringing. Somehow I knew the call was for me.
Who could this be? Daughter? Logan?
Hello?
Wake?
It's me again. You need to go to the statue of
It's her.
Parliament Tower Plaza. To make your ending come true, you will need what's inside the shoebox there.
The photos that Wake left?
The ending? A shoebox? Who is
Oh,
this?
you know who that is? I bet you that's Jesse. And we had heard of Jesse a couple of times in here. And wasn't thinking about this, but when it was talking about the redheaded person on that police officer's sketch of the Mr. Door, this guy talking about the redhead, yeah, this guy's voice. Wait, what? When he's talking about the redhead, I think that's talking about Jesse from Control as well.
Agent Anderson. Is that really you?
If I'm not
Sorry,
mistaken,
this place likes to play
he
tricks.
also played a character
Sheriff
in one of their
Riker?
games called Quantum Break, which didn't do very well, but I think he was there.
What happened to you? How did you end up in the dark place?
I was brought here. Snatched away from the morgue by a man named Orland Dorr.
Huh.
Been trying to piece it together for... Well, it feels like a long time now.
Who is this door person?
He's here. Somewhere. I've been seeing his face in my dreams for years. This whole thing is insane. But he is much more than he seems. He's connected to all of this.
I need to get to Parliament Tower Plaza. Do you have any idea where it is?
This place, it's like trying to find your way around in a dream. I've been trying to map it, but it keeps looping, shifting. Like there are many versions stacked on top of each other. There is a page. Describes Dorr finding his way through this place. I tried to follow the steps, but no luck.
You have the page?
Can I see that page, Tim?
Of course. In fact, it's the page I tried to give you back in the morgue in Bright Falls.
Oh, cool.
Huh. Now that I think about it, maybe Dorr brought me here to keep you from reading it.
Well, here I am. Let's go.
Here. I'm gonna keep looking for Dorr. The closer I get, the closer I feel to waking up. I need to find the man behind the curtain.
Orland Dorr walked across the rain-slicked tiles of Caldera Street Plaza. He stopped at the door to the construction yard. A poster for his talk show hung there. He stepped through, willing it to take him to Parliament Tower Plaza.
I know what I need to do. The door to Parliament Tower Plaza was at the construction yard.
I can't. Okay. There's not a thing for this. Walked across the rain-slicked tiles of Caldera Street Plaza. The rain did not seem to touch him. He sensed his steps were being observed, documented into the story. He allowed it this one time for this one reason, to be passed on by his unwilling disciple, to be read at the right time. The ocean, it was a dark place, took the shape of New York City, drawn from the mind of Alan Wake, in part for the writer to navigate his prison, in part to torment him as he struggled to find his way out. Dorr was not bound by the rules as Wake was. He came and went as he pleased. For now, Dorr entertained the writer's fantasy for a purpose known only to him. At the edge of the plaza, he stopped at the door to the construction yard. A poster for his talk show hung there, another part of Wake's fiction. He stepped through it, willing it to take him to Parliament Tower Plaza. Okay. And it did say we could profile. Hello, Mr. Dorr.
This is the first time I've seen a page about Orland Dorr. Who is he?
A door that stands between two rooms is in both. A door that can lead anywhere is everywhere. That door is the center. He governs the currents of reality.
With all the powers mixed up in this, it's hard to know who's playing who. Opening too many doors. This isn't important right now. I can look into it later.
Are we sure?
The page describes him moving through the door. How can I do that?
The dark place has many faces and many names. It is a mirror, reflecting all possible realities. The family of doors have the power to shift between these realities, here and elsewhere.
If I can find a way to navigate through this nightmare, maybe I can find a way to get back home.
Well, wasn't that kind of similar to what Tor and Odin were capable of doing? Saw that a little late. Oh boy.
I made it. I need to get up to the street and find that statue.
Okay.
Enough already.
See, we're just piping down our inner thoughts now.
There's the shoebox. The clicker.
Oh.
And some kind of bullet. Shining with light. How did the clicker get here from Washington?
Yeah. Just follow the lights. Sorry about that. Screen just minimized. I guess I could go back into the... We're kind of flashing this way too, I wonder. We could go back underground. Oh yeah, okay. It's not gonna like me going here, I guess. What the... What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna go underground. That guy's gone. Notice he's got the lamp like the woman. I don't know if it's relevant. This is a problem for reasons. Oh god, I forgot I had this. No! Okay, that actually worked out.
We will go on forever.
Very nice. Also very nice. Jeez. It's cathartic, if nothing else.
The phone again. Yes?
Hello. You don't know me, but you need to listen.
Yeah, I think
Hold
that
on.
is her.
How did you know the clicker would be there?
This is important. Alan's lost. He doesn't have the ending. He needs your help to finish the story.
How am I supposed to help him from here?
Okay, that's objectively not very helpful.
Okay. I'm in the dark place. Alan. We need to talk about the ending.
Saga, what is this?
My mind place. I've reached out to you like this before. But I understand more about it now.
You see visions too. I used to think they were ideas, inspiration, but they're real. Just like this now. I try to use them to make the story come true.
So this is coming from both of us. Maybe that's how we could communicate in the overlaps. We could use this to stop Scratch.
First, I need the ending.
I remember what he said about how, like, the genre needs to have a kind of defined archetype of an ending. And here, the hero had to suffer great losses or something.
So there's a problem with the ending?
I don't have the ending. It has to be perfect, but I don't have time to figure it out. I don't know what to do. Fuck. I'm so sorry. This whole thing is a fucking mess.
I agree. But we can still figure this out. And what exactly does perfect mean?
The elements of the ending need to come from the story's pre-existing parts. To make matters worse, this is a horror story.
Yeah.
So the ending has to be earned. Set up by the story. You can't build a case without supporting evidence.
That's the only way to make it stick.
You don't need to tell me this is a horror story.
Right. The ending has to fit the genre if it's going to work. In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters.
There must be a way to bring a hero into the story.
If there is a hero, they will ultimately pay a heavy price.
I can't let the horror story take Logan and Casey. They were dragged into this. They need to survive. Non-negotiable.
Not just them. We need to try to save everyone. I have an idea how to help Casey. He's a real person who I twisted into a character. He isn't my creation, so he isn't a suitable host for the Dark Presence.
Okay.
I can write that into the ending to drive that fucking thing out of him.
So he's going to need one of his creations to be the host.
Well, if the ending has to fit the story. This is how I see it. Return is a story about a story that comes true. And I'm a character in this story.
Not just a character. The hero.
Oh boy.
Okay, a hero. In any case, I've been through hell to be here. And this is my life. It feels earned to me that I rise above the story and be there to create the ending.
Yes. That's what we're doing. Here, now. We're figuring out the ending I need to write.
It would be really cool if they had ways for there to be some branching options, and maybe there is, but specifically like in a situation like this, you could have us as the player actually write the ending and have it be a meaningful outcome. Would be kind of cool.
This isn't Scratch's ending. But this isn't your ending either. This is our ending. You aren't the only one deciding these things anymore.
You're right. I can't do this alone. Every time I write, things only get worse.
You beat this thing back in 2010, Alan. And here you are doing the same again. You're a hero too. We're in this together.
Then let's bring it home.
The ending will have to be dark, no matter what. The more people we save, the greater the cost. And the hero must pay the price.
One of the heroes. The scales always need to balance. Fuck it. Let's go with this.
Are you sure?
There's no time for anything better. Scratch could be here any second.
Then that's our ending. I have the clicker. I'll find a way to get it to you.
And I'll get the pages down. See you on the other side.
Okay. I think it's happening. I think it's happening. It seems so welcoming.
Alan?
Saga, I finished it. The ending we talked about.
I have the clicker. And the bullet of light. Let's do this. I have to be the one to do it.
I feel like I've always been on this journey. Okay. It must end here, this darkness. What lies under the surface now shifts. A play of shadows catching my eye, thrusting my face into the water. He's here. It's shockingly cold, past the mirror of the surface. And I will see.
Casey?
The end. Scratch! Now! A white, searing light of truth that for a flash pierces the shadows and reveals the hidden horror. And in that moment of silence, the whispered message finally heard.
Come on, you motherfucker! Come on! Come on!
What if there's nothing waiting to be revealed? The play of shadows fool us all, subterfuge to get our price of admission. Darkness not as a monster, but as emptiness.
Light bullet.
None the wiser. No answers, no truths. The hero turns to look inside. Is destroyed by what he sees, and is redeemed. Saga said we're both heroes. I'll pay that price. So will she. We are here to kill the monster. I pray nothing comes after this. Nothing but sleep. This is how we win. Is it too easy? What if this is still the dark place? Another dream to wake up from, always coming back to the beginning. The memory of what came before burned away by this terrible realization. Maybe it's a mercy, forgetting. To know nothing when we loop around, back to...
I wonder if in those loops when Alan shot himself, if it was actually her, but she didn't have like the proper bullet there.
over. Anderson.
Casey, we're on the phone. Whoa, okay. Okay. No! Why? No, you would do that to us? Are you kidding me? Okay, so that is dirty. So we don't know. We don't know. We gotta just accept that we don't know. There will probably be a little thing at the end, right? Let's see. I really appreciate everybody that worked on this. This was a masterpiece. This was a work of art. Their performances were amazing. The performance of the game was amazing. The systems that they put in were great. The acting was great. The voice acting was great. The writing was fantastic. Yeah, here we go. Come on.
This part is just for you. After the haunting started, I got in touch with an organization that was still looking into what happened in Bright Falls.
FBC.
I went to their offices and something happened there. After I got home, I could suddenly remember everything. I remembered being trapped inside that lake. A dark ocean with echoes of myself. My fears, my photos. Inside a dark tide of madness. The same events and images looping again and again. And then I saw a light. Your light. You dove in just as I swam out. You never drowned. And you're still there reaching out. That is what the haunting is. I can see you because I've been there too. I chose to come back to the dark place. That is why I put on this exhibition. I had to mislead you so that I could get you to where you needed to be. The only way out of your loop is destruction or ascension. Light or dark. And we've covered the destruction part many times over. And we're getting to the ascension bit by bit. Time means nothing here. You'll still need to go through the loop. But I will keep showing you the images you need to see. The light you need to see. Until you're ready. Alan, I think we're getting close.
No bullet.
It's not a loop. It's a spiral.
Like the thing on the door. Going outwards, I suppose. It's not a loop, it's a spiral? Okay. As in... like a spiral. What does that mean? Let me see if there's anything at the end here. Probably not. We're gonna talk about this in a sec. I just want to see if there's anything else. Look at how many people were involved here, eh? Like, Man, what an undertaking. All the different songs that were written. And well written, too. Like, different voice actors in different languages. Jeez. I don't know. I think these were only from, like, different pre-order bonuses, if I'm not mistaken. So I could never change any of these. Okay, yeah. I mean, obviously, really enjoyed it. What a great game. Really cool storytelling. I would have liked a little bit more resolution towards the end, but I think that's just because, you know, tying things up in a nice, neat little bow is very satisfying, and this does leave some interpretation. The spiral thing. So, when I think of spiraling, you think of it almost like spiral, like you start in the center point, you spiral outwards, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. But that's not really giving me any resolution. And if we think about the way that the game jumped between timelines, and we're meeting like multiple times, I do wonder if this is like you know the movie Arrival? Oh man, I don't want to spoil it for people if you haven't seen it, so maybe don't listen to this. There's fair warning. But in the movie Arrival, time is happening basically all at once. And once the woman in Arrival, Amy Adams, her character, learned the language of the aliens that came to Earth, she was able to perceive time differently because she started to think in their language. And when you rewatch that movie, you'll notice at the very beginning, she basically laid out the entire movie in the opening, like, monologue that she had, indicating that, you know, she's perceiving time differently. And I'm kind of wondering if that's what the spiral means here, like on a timeline where you're kind of jumping back and forth and experiencing things like in slightly different orders in a similar way. I don't know. It's not a loop, it's a spiral. Because you're not doing everything the same like the loop, it doesn't repeat forever. You just have to go long enough until it changes. And maybe where those changes occurred are like during the overlaps, right? There's a lot of questions. I'm kind of spitballing here, but like I'm not going to pretend to try and solve this because it's not going to happen. But I would love to get into it in the comments and read your ideas about what's going on here. And I'll do some reading as well offline to kind of take in some more, because I'm sure like if I was to reflect back and if I'm watching this versus playing this, I'd probably take in different things. You guys probably took in different things than I was taking in. And yeah, there's a lot of interpretation here. But like the big question is, did we save people? Like what's the sacrifice? I kind of thought the sacrifice was her killing Wake and Wake sacrificing, but her having to live with the choice of killing Wake. But then like he comes back at the end and he's like, well, it's not a loop, it's a spiral. Like he's got something figured out. And like, I guess we're set up for an Alan Wake 3, which is cool, but also I love answers, and I wouldn't mind some resolution. So if you guys have some thoughts on that, please hit me up. But I do feel like we're on the right track with the time aspect. Just not sure if that's as big of a revelation as it was made out to be. I'm not sure. Oh man, very cool game though. Like really, really enjoyed it. Just the way that they told the story, like not many games have done that, right? Control was pretty trippy did some really creative stuff, but this really stands on its own. And I think, you know, if Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't release this year, this game's in like Game of the Year chats for sure. But this game's also been, or this year has been stacked for games, so who knows? Who knows? I do kind of wish that there were more spooky elements, if that makes sense. There were definitely some jump scares for sure, and there were spooky moments. I just would have liked more of them. More of a horror side of things. But I think what they did do was pretty effective. Even if it's just those black and white screens with the jump scares. Like, I'm a fan of the occasional jump scare, you know? I think that's fine. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll chat about it in the comments. But thank you so much for watching this. Really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next series. It's been a long time since we had the opportunity to really set the vibe, and this really nailed that for me. So, yeah. Also, let me know. I'd be very curious if you've watched this whole series. Like, what was your routine like when you watched this? Is this like a nighttime game for you? Is this like watching it while I get dinner ready with the kids kind of thing? Or is this I watch this during my lunch break? Like, let me know the details. And yeah, I think that would be fun to hear about, and I'll be reading the comments for a while. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye for now.